It has begun!
Are y'all ready? Well, this is what you tune in to. This is the legend of the Petty Nerds. Y'all ready to dive in? Y'all ready to get petty? Deadpool versus Spider-Man. Batman versus Superman. This is what we getting in. Let's get petty. Let's get petty. Let's get petty. Let's get petty.
What's going on, everybody? This is your man, Dre Mack, with the first episode of The Legend of the Petty Nerds. And of course, I got my brother Rico Suave up in the house.
How y'all doing?
So this is the first episode, so of course we got to introduce ourselves. Introduce why we so petty when it comes to comics, comic book movies, anime. I mean, especially 80s cartoons. I think we probably get more petty about 80s cartoons than probably anything, because they ain't even gonna go there about Transformers. But
I will. Oh, man, you know I will.
But first, let us do this. Let us introduce ourselves so you can actually kind of find out exactly, who we are, why we do this. So I'm gonna let my brother Rico, I'm gonna let him go first, and then I'm gonna go, and then we gonna just kind of, dive into this.
Okay. My name is Rico Suave. I've been collecting comics for about 30 plus years. I grew up in Southern California. Comics is really what kept me out of the streets. So I really hold comics and cartoons and things of that nature in high regards, because it led me out of the penitentiary onto college and got me to getting a graphic design degree. So I'm a nerd for life, because it saved my life.
I mean, for me, I think I started collecting. Actually, I started recollecting comics because I used to collect comics back in the early '90s. When it came to Spawn, I think Spawn #3 was the one that was like that opened my eyes. Like, oh, I mean, I want to start collecting comics again. And plus, back then, X-Men the animated series was cracking. You had Spider-Man the animated series. You still had, you had the Incredible Hulk. There was so many like things geared towards Marvel, especially I think X-Men really got it. So when X-Men the animated series came out, I was like, oh snap, I really want to get into comics. So I started collecting toys. That's why I was really into, collecting the toys and stuff like that. I mean?
I think that X-Men cartoon was extraordinary, and it got a lot of people into, mainstream comic collecting at that time. Because that was the time where Jim Lee and Scott Williams was drawing and writing X-Men 2, and
right.
they based that cartoon, loosely off those comics. And those comics, if I'm not mistaken, I think X-Men #1 is the highest selling comic of all time.
Yep.
So yeah, that I can see how that influenced you big time.
So yeah, that got me. Spider-Man got me. And then I took it, like every kid, I took a hiatus, going into my teenage years and stuff like that. But I got into the Deadpool comics, and Deadpool really sucked me back in. Just the comic by itself, it was because I like comedy and I like hilarity. And Deadpool is a complex character. He's one of my favorite characters because he is so complex, because on one side he's silly, he's goofy, he breaks the fourth wall, but when it comes to certain things, Deadpool is a beast, a monster, you know what I'm saying? So Deadpool really got me hooked. And it's funny because my brother is a big Spider-Man comic book fan. So it's basically I'm Deadpool, he's Spider-Man.
That's my guy. And it's so funny how from the beginning, Deadpool was popular, but he wasn't what he is now.
No,
and
he's incredibly blown up now.
It's extraordinary. I wish I had just missed that New Mutants 98, and I know we're going to get into that later, but I had just missed that.
And it's funny because you have a lot of Spider-Man comics. Just on the Spider-Man comic, let's say, what's your absolute favorite Spider-Man comic book? What number you like, dude? I can read this over and over and over again.
Now, see, that's my holy grail. I was gonna present that later, but since we're jumping into it,
jump into it.
Let's jump into it. My favorite comic of all time. I can read this over and over. Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Of course, you was gonna pick that one.
This is my holy grail. First appearance of Venom, obviously my favorite villain. Todd McFarlane and David Michelinie into their stride. Early into Todd McFarlane's career. I think David Michelinie had been writing Amazing Spider-Man for about a year or two prior to that. So yeah, man, Amazing Spider-Man number 300, my all-time favorite.
And it's funny because I got all really the Spider-Man team up comics. That's what when they did the Spider-Man Deadpool comic, it took me by surprise how well it was written. Because again, you could have went straight wacky with Deadpool because some of the writers have just went straight just on the wacky mode. Not necessarily his intelligence, not necessarily the reason why he has awareness that he's a comic book character, but they went just straight wacky. But there's one comic. I'm gonna pull this comic out or whatever that I absolutely, when I read it, it was completely hilarious. And it is a Amazing Spider-Man number 611. This comic is hilarious. It is hilarious. Literally one of the funniest comics. It is so well written. That's why I like it, because it is so well written.
Now who wrote that comic?
Let me pull that one back out. This one was Joe Kelly wrote it.
Okay.
Joe Kelly. So Joe Kelly was actually a writer on Deadpool in one of his series, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Joe Kelly was the original writer during the first Deadpool series. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm gonna grab that comic later on and make sure that I'm 100%, because I do have Deadpool number 1 from that first comic run. But it is just so well written. You have Spider-Man, you have Deadpool. Now, that's not the first time that they connected as far as a team up in a comic, but it's one of the most clever and it's a fun comic. I love that comic.
Yeah, that's one that's on my list. I was trying to attempt to collect every Amazing Spider-Man comic created. That is a daunting task. So that's one. 611 is on my list. I got a copy of it in that Spider-Man Deadpool trade paperback, but
okay,
that cover is so iconic, man.
Yes.
Iconic.
And I don't even want to tell people how much I got that comic for. I got it for a deal, a super deal. Somebody was slipping. They were slipping, and I got that buff for a super deal. But this is actually Capable and Deadpool number 24. Fabian Nicieza wrote this. This is I love this cover too. This cover is so incredibly awesome. But Cable and Deadpool number 24, I believe, is the first time they actually hooked up in a comic as far as the team up. As far as the team up comic, that was the first one. But they have some great ones. They have some really great ones. And if you didn't read Deadpool and Spider-Man, you missed out, because there was some amazing stories on there. And I got another one too. I got to tell you this one, because I don't know if you've seen this one, Rico, but this one is Avenging Spider-Man, number 12 and number 13. This comic, this here, and this one, 12 and 13, the Avenging Spider-Man. It's the silliest thing you've ever. The disco dude or whatever the dude's name is, man, it is silly, but it is so much fun. That was a good read, and the one where they faced the Hit Monkey. That was a good one too. I got that one too.
Yeah. I gotta get those. But oh man, with later on down the line, you know, we're gonna talk about why it is so difficult to collect Amazing Spider-Man comics.
It's just difficult to get any type of good comic book right now. Even if you look at, there's one comic that I want, and it's just a one-off. It's the what if Deadpool became Venom? I think.
Yeah.
That thing is that thing is $200-$300. And it's just it is not even, I read it online. It's not like it's a groundbreaking comic. It ain't like it's Thanos versus Deadpool, that's a great comic run. So one off, it's a what if, and it's $300. Just for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Yeah, you were right. Joe Kelly did in 1997. He was him and Ed McGuinness, which is awesome. He's an awesome artist.
Oh, Ed McGuinness.
That's what made me notice Deadpool was his art. Like, man, I mean, Rob Liefeld, you know, he's classic, you know what I'm saying? That's the creator of Deadpool. But Ed McGuinness, when he got his hands on Deadpool,
that first run, and it was good about that first run is because it looked more comic bookish, if you could say. It was more of that comic book. It's not in the style of like the creator of what, now I can't think of his name. The creator of the Lord have mercy, Thor and all of them, and
Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby. It's not like Jack Kirby, but it's just in a style where it's kind of cartoonish, but it's you can tell it's comic bookish and it's fun. More facial expressions, more kind of like when you want to do some silly stuff, you can. It's not like, oh man, it's just these big. It's the only thing that I don't like about, and I love Rob Liefeld, but some of his comics, when you're trying to get like a facial expression where it's like happy, sad, all of his comic books look like they're getting ready to beat up other comic books. All of his comics are just, oh my God. But I mean, you know, I got to give him props. He made a couple covers with Todd McFarlane. It's just, oh my God, it is so dope on New Mutants.
Oh man. Let's get into one of those. I think this is one you have a copy of. Oh, matter of fact, I know you do.
And while you looking, I'm actually pulling. I said I wasn't gonna pull from my stash, but I gotta pull from my. We gonna break down like basically what's our favorite comic book runs that we have too, because we got some stuff. That's all I'm just saying. We got some stuff.
Yeah. You know,
I got that one, so I don't need to pull it out.
Man,
yeah.
This one is now the inside. Nothing to write home about. But
the cover is dope. The cover is dope.
And which was that New Mutants 97? And if I'm not mistaken, from New Mutants 86, a couple of those covers, Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld both collaborated on those covers. You have New Mutants. You have New Mutants 86.
I got New Mutants 85 all the way to 100. So there's comics that both of them collabed on that is fabulous. Matter of fact, one that really nobody really talks about is his number 86, where the cover is Fire Fist versus the Vulture. And it's literally because they mentioned Cable in that comic. So it bumped up in price because they mentioned Cable in that comic, because 87, of course, is the first introduction to Cable. But the collaboration on the cover is fabulous. And the way that they made Vulture look, it's a classic Vulture look. It's that 60s, 70s Spider-Man versus Vulture look. It is an incredible book. And I'm gonna post that. I'll be able to post that book later. But it's dope. It is incredibly dope. Now, while we're at it, let's start talking about your favorite comic run that you got right now. So you of course, you know, I got some runs, you got some runs. Out of all the runs that you have, what is the favorite run that you got? It could be a series like Secret Invasion. It could be a one-off, a three, you know what I'm saying? Like a 3-page one-off. I mean, a 3 series one-off. It could be something. What is your favorite one that you read? You're like, oh, this is incredible.
There's actually 2, because, you know, along with Spider-Man, you know, my crew is the X-Men.
Of course. This is where the pettiness comes in, because we can't just stick with one.
The creation, obviously, because Venom is my favorite villain. The
Right.
creation of Venom and Carnage. You know what I'm saying? Those particular issues, like obviously 298, 299, and 300.
Right.
And then 316, 317, 322, 323, 344, which is the first appearance of Cletus Cassidy.
When he was in jail, right?
Yeah, he was in jail with Eddie Brock.
And Brock.
He was about to I'm talking about some Oz wire stuff is about to really go down. And then 360, 361, 362, 363, first appearance of Carnage in full uniform, and then on to Maximum Carnage.
Okay. So you got Maximum Carnage. I mean, those runs going into Maximum Carnage, because basically those were the runs going into Maximum
Going into Maximum Carnage.
Okay.
So I think that would be, if I had to choose, that would be my number one. I can read those constantly.
Okay.
You gotta have all those in order to make the story make sense. From obviously 298, and then all those ones hidden every other, you know what I'm saying, every time they decided they want to bring Venom back into a comic book. Well, here you go. And the art, oh man, obviously 298, 299, 300, 315, and 316. Todd McFarlane, 332, 333, 344, 345, Eric Larson, and then 360, 361, 362, and 363, Mark Bagley.
Just incredible.
Three of the greatest comic Spider-Man artists of all time, in my opinion.
All right. So let me go. Of course, you already know which one I'm about to pick is my number one, and that's Spider-Man Deadpool. From number 1 to number 50 is awesome. That whole comic run is awesome because I didn't know how it was going to end, and the way that it ended was awesome. I also got a number 2, and this was hard because not only do I, I know you're hearing a lot of Marvel. I got a little bit of DC. You know what I'm saying? Rico collects way more DC than I do, way more Batman than I do. But man, it's tugging on me, man. But the Batman Who Laughs series. Now I was reading that. I was reading Batman Who Laughs. I was reading Absolute Carnage is dope. Oh, Absolute Carnage is dope. Oh my God, But the Batman Who Laughs, it made me want to go buy This is how good the story is. It made me want to go buy DC. And I'm not a DC fan. If anybody knows, I'm not a DC fan. I believe their characters are bland. Their main characters are the only ones that keep them afloat. Unlike Marvel, where their secondary characters come out of the blue. Again, we've talked about this. Wasn't nobody buying Captain America?
Iron Man, Thor, the Black Panther.
Nobody
Doctor
gave a damn
Strange.
about Thor. Yeah, nobody gave a damn about Thor. Nobody gave a damn about Captain America. Nobody cared nothing about the Avengers all the way up until now. Nobody cared.
When I started collecting comics, this was what, 88, 89? That Infinity Gauntlet that came out.
Yeah.
You know how cheap that comic has been for years? Until 3-4 years ago, all of a sudden,
it raised in price.
Thanos was popular. Thor popular, Iron Man, Tony Stark. I'm talking about the savior of Marvel all of a sudden. When, if you remember, when Sony got that deal for Spider-Man, they could have got everybody else. And their classic line is, F everybody else, go get Spider-Man.
Right.
That's how
Because they do
everybody
Spider-Man
felt about their second and third character.
Right.
I and that shows the power of Marvel and DC, because you're right. Although I think Birds of Prey may be a good movie, second and third tier characters.
I almost downloaded it. I almost paid $20 on Vudu to watch it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch Sonic instead.
Yeah, we're trying to find it for free. I mean.
I think if it hits DC, I think I got a DC. This is another thing. I'm sorry, I'm about to get real petty. DC, your app sucks. Your DC Universe app sucks. Y'all wanted to wait until everybody caught the coronavirus to put Batman on the DC Universe app. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
Which Batman? I mean,
Batman 89. Batman 89. Batman 89 should have been on it. I'm talking about the only shows that I watched on the DC Universe app was Teen Titans, and the Teen Titans movie, because it's kind of off-world, the TV show. It was cool, but it was still kind of like Elseworld type of Teen Titans. So, and you know what I'm saying? It was still okay, you know what I mean? But yeah, I came for Superman and Batman, and I only got Superman. I'm glad it wasn't Superman 4, because I would have threw myself out the window. I'm not lying. And then the Harley Quinn show is funny, but yeah, I it took a minute, but yeah, y'all gotta do better. That's the only thing I'm saying. Y'all own all y'all characters. Why can't y'all do better?
And then that's what I don't understand. As bad as Marvel had been struggling these last before 2008.
Before 2008.
Marvel was struggling. DC owns all their characters. They own them all. Yet Marvel pulled the biggest.
Guardians of the Galaxy is now a mainstream team. The Guardians of the Galaxy.
I have never, even though I love Jim Valentino. That's one of my favorite artists. And when I started collecting comics, he was drawing Guardians of the Galaxy. Prior to him, I could have cared less. I didn't even know the team. When I first saw the movie, I did not know none of them people who they was except for Rocket.
And that's Marvel versus Capcom. That's it. And he had an Australian accent in the game. And he sucked.
And I can attest, back in, I mean, I you know what I'm saying, other than Spider-Man and X-Men, I was usually getting like, I would pick up Captain America 400, Iron Man 350. That's the only way I would get another superhero, was if it's an event. War Machine #1. Now Punisher doesn't fit. I don't think Punisher fits in that category. I think Punisher is one of Marvel's top tier characters.
Right, so right. He doesn't. He doesn't fit. He doesn't. Even though they made some bad movies, the Punisher TV show was awesome, but they made some bad movies. So
now,
I mean, he's gonna go
that first Punisher movie
back in '87.
No, not that one. I'm talking about
not Warzone
and John Travolta.
Okay, with Tom, good Lord, what's his name? Tom Jane.
Don't like
something like that.
Don't like.
That was cool. Punisher Warzone was cool.
Punisher Warzone?
That's Punisher.
That was Punisher.
That's Punisher.
That was Punisher right there.
There's let me see. We got about 6 minutes. Let's jump into this. Beyond Marvel and DC, what other comics that you would pick up that's not, they're not Marvel, not DC? Who would you pick up?
This is gonna surprise you. This is gonna come out of the blue. Archie Comics.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
Betty and Veronica. Archie Comics, cause okay. I've been watching Riverdale.
Riverdale.
First,
I knew it.
I didn't even know. First of all, I didn't even know that was Archie Comics, because I honestly, you know, my comic horizon is broad. I collect everything. I'm talking about everything. Church comics, school comics. Man, I don't have any Ku Klux
Super
Klan.
Jesus.
I ain't got none of that. But, educational. So you know what I'm saying. I collected Archie comics back then, and I have a couple now. The new ones, they're like TV show.
The TV show.
The TV show is on hit. It's on hit. You know what I'm saying, for a comic book show that I didn't know was a comic book show, and the way they portray Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead now, that's the off the chain. That's the comic I would get. That's off of Marvel and DC. I even went past Image, because you know I usually would have said Spawn, but that's
Right.
too. Spawn's
Yeah,
too
that's
easy.
way too easy.
That's
Okay,
too easy.
so if I'm picking one, which I did before the virus hit, it was Transformers. The IDW. It looked so good. They had the crossover with Ghostbusters just recently,
Oh.
and I didn't pick it. I didn't pick it up because I was in the mode of. The only reason why I didn't pick it up because it was issue 3, and I like to get issue 1, and they didn't have issue 1, 2, and I want to get 1, 2, and 3. And then Thor just came out, the new Thor with Cosmic Thor. So it was like, okay, $4 for Cosmic Thor or Ghostbusters and Transformers number 30. Now I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I went with but I had an IDW with Sideswipe, I believe, was the main character of this particular IDW, and it was so well drawn, so well done. I was like, man, I gotta get that.
Those artists from IDW, because coming from an artist myself, Transformers are very difficult to draw, to get right. And those guys from IDW, man, I'm talking about that art. That art looks better than the old cartoon.
It does.
You know,
It
and
does.
it looks way better than the box art. You remember the old box art?
Oh,
matter of fact, hold on.
Yeah, the box art is
Hold
ugly.
up.
The
This
box
is-
art.
This is the original Perceptor.
But look at the box art on the back.
That's my
That box art on the back is terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Ninja, you know what? TMNT too. Because TMNT just did a crossover with the Power Rangers, where the Turtles became the Power Rangers. So, yeah, with April and the Turtles became the Power Rangers. So that's something that I want to go back and collect. I want to get the trade the trade paperback of the original first comic of TMNT, because it follows my favorite comic book movie of all time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1989 edition. So I want to be able to get that. But as soon as this virus is done, I can start making some extra money. I'm gonna have to grab those.
Hey, you know what? I before we go, I gotta make a confession. You used to say, I know jokingly, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was one of the best comic book movies ever made.
I wasn't joking. I'm not joking. I'm so serious. I am so serious.
After watching it and breaking it down, and breaking down how much budget they had as opposed to the success that they had with that movie, I might be close up there with you. Now, I can't put nothing over Captain America Civil War. I'm sorry.
Okay, but
But
think of the time.
But I laughed you off. I laughed you off. And now I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. That first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle is extraordinary.
It's great.
For that time, and it still holds up today.
And remember what it went against. It came off the heels of Batman. Remember, Batman 89
Batman
came
in
out first.
1989.
Batman, Dick Tracy, Turtles.
Yes.
And everybody thought
Yes.
Turtles was gonna be more like the cartoon. But what
Yeah.
they did was they merged perfectly the graphic novel, basically the comics, the Mirage comics, and the cartoon just a little bit, with just a more of a human element focused on the turtles. The reason why we don't like Transformers movies, because they're focusing on human characters that are expendable. Who cares? The focus is on the main characters, which is the Transformers. In that movie, they focus on the turtles, their relationship with Splinter, April, everybody else was side characters. You even had the depths of Michelangelo. Like, dude, Michelangelo has a character arc that everybody has a character arc that starts in the beginning of the movie, where in the beginning, Leonardo's like, whatever, Ralph, go ahead, go ahead and do what you want to do. By the end of the movie, he's like, nah, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You my brother. You my brother. You ain't going
nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And then you had the flip-flop. Remember, at the beginning of the movie, Raphael was the angry one. By the end of the movie, after Shredder gave him that whooping, Raphael Leonardo like, dude, I'm about to rush you. Rush all into him and got mollywopped and almost got murked. It wasn't for Splinter, they would have got murked. That is the way that you tell the story. It is not generic. You know, and you bring up Captain America Civil War. Now, we're going just a little bit over, but I got to give at least 2 more minutes to talk about this. But Captain America Civil War, what you seen was the character arc of Captain America completely changed from good old American, I'll go with the government, to a totally different dude that carried on all the way in the end game. And I love that movie for that.
Yeah.
Love that movie for that.
But I had to tell you, I'm leaning on to your side on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after breaking it down. Yeah.
Because it's the music. The reason why I like that, we got to do a show on this. We got to do a show on this. But I like the music in the movie, the character arcs. Everybody's character changes slightly throughout the whole entire movie. Mike goes from kind of goofing off and stuff like that to really on the top of the roof. They used Raphael's voice, but that was Michelangelo on top of the roof screaming for Splinter. And when he seen him, he wanted to grab him like that. You're like, that's my dad. Like, and you think about the character from the beginning of the movie where he's ordering pizza when he or putting on music and dancing to, dude, I almost lost my dad. You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's incredible. I love that movie. I don't care what nobody say. That is the greatest comic book movie ever. As far as character development, everything for that time period is awesome. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. All right, so we're going to let y'all go. I'm glad y'all went and tuned in with us from the first episode of The Legend of the Petty Nerds. Plus, we're going to bring you more of this. Trust me, because we're going to break down Transformers the movie. Why I hate it. I hate that movie. I don't care what nobody say. I hate it. We got other stuff we're going to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go dive into Ninja Turtles. We're going to dive into these, the way comic books, the comic book variants right now. I mean, you can talk on this, the way the comic books, how people are overselling them, and it's all these variants. We're going to talk about that because that's stupid. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk more about this. But for now, we're going to let y'all go. We're going to end y'all off. I thank y'all for tuning in. Peace out. Y'all going to see this on YouTube, Facebook, all of that. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Peace.